Hello. Good evening. It's evening here where I am, and wherever you are, greetings. Um, Thank you for tuning in. If you are a regular viewer of this channel, and if you are a new viewer or you just happen to stumble upon this channel, you are welcome to Kosh TV on YouTube. And my name is Janet. Um, I am a trained registered nurse, with a critical care background, a few experiences. And this channel is backed by a group of um, experts who are really good at their various field of profession. Um, Today, I am going to talk about an interesting topic. Very interesting. Um, we do practice it all the time, but well, here in the United Kingdom, it's very important. It's a very important topic. And I'm sure it is in the Western world, the European, everything. In Africa, yes, I think it is, but as to how seriously we actually see this topic, I'm yet to find out a little bit more. But from my experience, I would say that we need to do a little bit more in that aspect. I've had a few experiences in a few countries in Africa. Well, should I say a couple of countries in Africa? And I would really appeal to the government of all the African countries, and then the authorities to actually take this topic very seriously, because it's would go a very long way to improve the well-being of everyone, and I mean everyone, if we are able to do if we are able to stick to the brief discussion of what I'm coming to talk about. And as you know, this channel is actually aimed at improving the well-being of the family and then the community as a whole. And this topic has a lot to say about it. And it's the topic safeguarding, okay? Safeguarding, yes, very important in the United Kingdom. It's a very serious concern, and it's something the country takes seriously when it comes to dealing with people. It's something that is considered very seriously. Individuals, as health professionals, or whoever is in the care industry, can be held responsible. So are the institutions as well. So it's something that I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to go into details. I will give some links and sites so that you can go and then check out more on this topic. And as I always say, please share, subscribe, and comment. I know it's early days, but do not forget to actually share. Very importantly, please share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, safeguarding. I'm going to read the definition from the Healthcare Service of England. It says safeguarding is means protecting a citizen's health, well-being, human rights, enabling them to live free from harm, abuse, and neglect. It is an integral part of providing high-quality health care. Safeguarding children, young people, and adults is a collective responsibility. Okay, so it's a collective responsibility of anyone, any professional who comes into contact with people, with children, with the vulnerable, with the sick. So far as you are dealing with people, it's something that you are responsible of. So now there is another definition. This is by the Healthcare Professionals Council. It says the purpose of safeguarding policy is to outline our safeguarding responsibilities that our staff, partners are aware of their safeguarding obligation to ensure that concerns are dealt with and escalated appropriately. Okay, so yes, there are levels of alerts, okay, but safeguarding issue is a safeguarding issue. There are times, if you are not careful, something you may seem not to be very necessary, or something you may seem to be trivial, can be escalated and it becomes a big issue. So if you are unsure, the best thing to do is to speak with a colleague, is to speak with an expert. Do not just ignore, because you may not see it as serious and then later you could get into trouble. So these are very, very important. Now, there are 6 principles when it comes to safeguarding. And these principles are empowerment. And empowerment, this is to ensure that the individuals concerned know their rights. And you, just a minute, let me try and then get a few more. And you, the professional dealing with the individual, you know what is expected of you, okay? Because you need to actually be sure that whoever you're dealing with is comfortable with your line of action. And you have to explain the reason why. Because sometimes people may not like to actually give out information even when they are in trouble or when they are at a disadvantage and are suffering, because they are not sure of the consequences and they are not sure of what could come out of them. That person that, if there were to be someone involved, that person that they have to actually talk about, consider with regard to the safeguarding issue, maybe they are breadwinner. So they are sometimes reluctant to give information. So you, the health professional dealing with such a person, must know your responsibilities and your duty. You need to know that it is their rights. You need to know that they have the right to live a comfortable life. Okay, so you would have to make them. You would have to reassure them, seek their consent in sharing of information, and let them know the reason why you would have to do it, and make sure they are comfortable to do that with you. All right. And the second principle is prevention. We always say that it's always better to to take an action to prevent things getting worse than wait till they get worse. So if you see it coming on, or if you see that this could potentially lead to a problem, then actions must be taken to stop it before it gets any worse. All right. Now the third one is the proportionality. Okay, we're talking about the principles, 7 principles. Proportionality, that's, I'm reading this out, the response to a safeguarding issue should be appropriate to the level of risks presented and not overly intrusive. Okay? Sometimes I've been in that situation, dealing with a patient regarding, and I'm sure most health professionals have been, if not all of them. You need to let make it your line or your statements, your sentences shouldn't seem as if you are being so intrusive. Your choice of words, your approach, in every step you take, you have to make sure that the person or the client, the patient you're talking with or talking to, doesn't feel as if they are being pushed or their privacy is being invaded beyond what they actually would like. Okay, so that is the proportionality. We need to make sure, and we have to try not to put words into such people's mouth, especially when you're dealing with the vulnerable. It could be a child, mentally abnormal, you know what I mean. Someone with a mental disability, usually these are the people, and the elderly. Usually these are the people who are usually at risk when it comes to safeguarding issues. So we need to be cautious when dealing with them. Our approach of questioning, our choice of words when we are trying to get information, we have to be very sure that it doesn't come across as being so intrusive, because sometimes it can be very, very uncomfortable, and they might not be receptive. You might not get what you want. Okay. And at the end, if you're not careful, you will be the one at the losing end. Okay. And then the fourth one is protection. So if the harm is spotted, or a potential harm is spotted, actions must be taken to prevent this. Okay. In this, you need to put measures in place or seek for measures that will protect the individual from getting harmed. Okay, from I wanted to use a word that isn't coming, from getting harmed, from being exposed to that harm. All right. So what the NHS the principle says is that this principle focuses on providing support, representation for those in greatest need, ensuring their safety and well-being. All right. I do not want to make this video too lengthy, but please remember to subscribe and share. Now, the next one, which is the fifth, is the partnership. Local, here it says local solutions are fostered through services working with communities, emphasizing shared responsibility in preventing, detecting, and reporting abuse. Okay, so partnership, multidisciplinary team. So we need to learn to communicate with each other, share information, taking into consideration the Data Protection Act, and making sure that all areas are covered to prevent a potential abuse, and when you detect it, stopping it before it turns to an abuse. Okay, and the sixth one is accountability. Yeah, we sometimes kind of overlook this. I think I said 7 principles earlier. It's actually 6 principles. There is the 7 golden rule, which I would come to. This is the 6 principles. Okay, so the 6th one, which is the last, is accountability. Okay, this principle ensures transparency and responsibility of safeguarding practice, holding individuals and organizations accountable for their action. Okay, I'll take that again. This principle ensures transparency, responsibility in safeguarding practice, holding individuals and organizations accountable for their action. So let's take it that a healthcare facility, a care home, a church, a prayer camp, a healing center, or something of that sort, they can be held responsible if their action is seen to cause harm, all right, or is potentially leading to cause harm. And remember that, especially those of us from the ethnic groups that family are closely related, when it happens to one person, when someone potentially gets abused or get abused in one way or the other, it could be physical, there are different forms of safeguarding issues. So please take the trouble and read about it. It's not just physical, it can be mental, it can be financial when you look at it closely. Okay, so it can affect other members, okay, people they deal with, people who are close to them. So it's very important to note that these organizations, institutions are not immune to being held responsible for safeguarding issues. Yes, there are situations when sometimes we say, oh, that's what they believe in, so that's what it is, we should leave them to it. No. The thing is that without the appropriate knowledge, people get taken advantage of. People get manipulated. So it is very important to so that professionals, health professionals, those dealing with people, okay, the care areas, are informed, well informed, are given the knowledge, okay, so that they can act as the police, in quote, they can act and then stop these things from happening. Can you imagine if we should take steps to stop some of these actions from happening, people being manipulated, people, as somebody in a prayer camp, so you got to fast without knowing. I'm not saying fasting is bad. Fasting, if you look at it properly and do it properly, it can be good for the body. But they fast without the proper knowledge and other things happen. Can you imagine? And another institution is dealing with some form of exorcism through some crude way. That is more problem for the health sector. Okay, more problem from the health sector. So we need to get ourselves equipped with these issues. You may be able to do this somewhere and be fine, but move to somewhere else and do this and you will be in trouble. And you will be in trouble. So these are some of the things we should be gradually educating ourselves, health professionals, all professionals in the health system and care management settings. We should be introducing this, making sure that workers, staff, those we work with are aware of these issues. I'm telling you, it will be coming to a time these institutions or individuals can be prosecuted if somebody who is so knowledgeable knows about how to go about things, and it wouldn't be a pleasant thing. So please, let's get ourselves informed. The next one is the 7 golden rules. Okay, I don't want to make this vlog too lengthy. The golden rules. I'm just going to read it out briefly. Please take the time and then read on it. Get yourself informed. Tell a colleague, tell a friend, tell a family member. Let's educate ourselves. Let's equip ourselves with some of these things. It's so important. Golden rule 1: data protection laws are not a barrier. Okay, so data protection, it contains quite a lot. Basically, it means that if you collect data or information regarding a person or an individual for a purpose, make sure you use it for that purpose and not for something different. Okay, in a nutshell, that's what it means. But if you read a little bit more about it, you would get the whole picture. The next one is be open and transparent. Okay, so you dealing with this individual you are trying to help, make sure that you are open with them. You let them know what the processes are, and when you're communicating with other members or other staff, other colleagues, make sure that the information you have, you give them those informations. Do not make assumptions. Okay, it's okay to describe how the person looks, how if they were nervous, giving out information, if they were looking around and all this, but do not make assumptions. Do not make assumptions. Do not. I wanted to say, yeah, let's just leave it like that. Do not make assumptions. And then the next golden rule is seek advice when unsure. Very important. Very important, because this safeguarding is a very vast topic. There are we have the safeguarding children, safeguarding the vulnerable adults. Okay, so it contains so much. There is so much to learn. So you may not know it all. So if you are not sure, always seek help. Speak with an experienced or a senior. Always make sure you are sure with what you're dealing with. And then the next golden rule, which is the 4th, is share with consent when possible. Always seek the consent of the individual, especially if the person is compos mentis. You can get away with certain things. Some acts do come into place if the person has mental health issues, okay, with some form of mental health disability. Some acts do come into play. But if the person is compos mentis, make sure you seek consent. And then the next one, which is the 5th, is it's balance safety with privacy. Balance safety with privacy. Privacy, do not do not pry too much. Do not pry into the person's privacy. I mean, there are certain things the person may not like to share with you. Certain things like the share partners and stuff. Unless, and this way too, there are rules and laws. Unless you feel the person is being taken advantage of and is engaging in some sort of or is being lured. Remember, is being lured, is being manipulated into such acts. Okay, so I mean acts, not acts, acts. So you have to be sure of what you're dealing with, their privacy and their safety. Do these actually are they potentially to harm the individual involved? So some in some situations there is always a thin line. So just be careful. You're not sure, speak with someone. Just speak with someone. Okay. Pardon me. The sixth one says share information in a necessary, appropriate, relevant, timely, and secure manner. I did speak about that briefly earlier on. So the information must be appropriate. Do not use your way. Stick to the relevant, the important bits, and do not. And timing is of the essence, especially if the person comes to you in an institution, healthcare institution, the hospital, and the person has to go back to the same place where the abuse is likely to go back to the same place where the abuse is taking place. You would have to act. I mean, you would have time. Time is important when it comes to, and information must be shared securely. Okay. So there should be one left. It says 7 golden rules. Please read on it. Check on it and then read on it. It's a very interesting topic. If you take the trouble to read and then get informed, it's a very, very interesting topic. Interesting, and it's a bit involving, yes. It's a bit involving. To my health professionals out there, nurses and doctors, documentation is key. Well, it says here, document the sharing process and the rationale. Okay, documentation is key. So we need to equip ourselves with the documentation process. We need to know the channel of documenting, and then how information has to be liaised on. Okay, let's not fill forms and stuff like that and then leave them lying down and not following it through. There are situations when sometimes you would have to call whoever is the safeguarding officer in a particular area, or yes, in a particular area. So get yourself equipped with the documentation and passing of information process, and then deal with it accordingly, because sometimes things get missing, things get left behind, and then other things cropped in, and everything just becomes so messy. I'm sure none of us would really want that. And those of us who do not know about the safeguarding issues, please, let's get ourselves equipped. Let's know what it is. A patient is in your care. You're seeing a patient. You're watching a patient. You've seen some bruises, which is unusual. Take the trouble, find out. Do not pry. Do not see. Don't form your own opinions. Okay, just make. There are things to. There is so much covering this topic. So please, this is just a reminder to all of us that we should get ourselves equipped with the information regarding safeguarding the safeguarding issues and the procedures, and then act appropriately. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to me. As I always say, let's remember you and your community are responsible for your well-being. So make it a point to be a positive impact or influence wherever you are. Remember, share, comment, and like. Till I come your way again, I say stay healthy and bye-bye.